I am one of the biggest simulator fans, and it all started with House Flipper, and then Power Wash Simulator, and then Supermarket Simulator, and I recently got really sucked into Grocery Store Simulator. I flew through this game in literally a week, and yeah, I know that I played it a lot. And now here we are with Tavern Manager Simulator, and I have a lot to say. Now, before I get into it, I just want to give a huge thank you to One More Time, who generously gifted me this game to try out. I have posted a link below so you can add the game to your Steam wishlist or just buy the game today. First of all, you start in this very empty village where it's pretty much just your tavern. I played this originally the first day it came out, and I was pleasantly surprised that there were no major bugs that took away from my overall experience. Since the initial release of the game, the devs added an update and quite a few patches, but we'll get more into that later. So once I went up to my tavern, excited to start this new adventure with all the wonderful butterflies flying about, I soon discovered that I couldn't even get inside. I had to find a way to break into my own tavern. Is this even mine, or did I just find it and claim it? So after going around all the way to the back and discovering these boards on the back of the building, I did assume the game would want me to find a tool or something to remove the boards, but nope. I just needed to use my hands. I do wish this required a tool here and had a more realistic approach to break into your own tavern, but I guess we can just look past this minor detail. And we also quickly learned that we have to clean the place. Overall, the cleaning aspect of this game is a nice touch. I expected this to keep me busy while running the tavern, and it reminded me a lot of the mechanics of House Flipper, which I really appreciated. Once I got the place all cleaned up, I was ready to order some beer so I could start a Monopoly and finally play my game of capitalism, because what is better than capitalism and selling beer? Nothing. I can't think of anything. To order resources, you need to go into your office, interact with a book, and decide what you want or figure out what you can even afford to buy. What is also really nice here is that this menu will show you how much inventory you have on hand, which is a huge game changer once you start selling more items than just beer. And then after you place your order, you send your order off with your carrier pigeon. I can only assume a horse and buggy is sent to your tavern with the supplies. Conveniently, there is a little timer there on the left-hand side that shows you exactly when your items will arrive, which I thought was absolutely amazing, and I think they really thought of every little detail in this game upon release, God, I appreciate that so much. Now that we have the beer in stock, we were ready to open, but first, we were able to customize our store sign. At this point, I was just really eager to play the game that I didn't really want to dedicate much time to customize this sign, so after filtering through some randomized names and sorting through some image options, this is what I came up with. I know, it's great. Finally, my first customer arrived, and I struggled to figure out how to serve him beer.
Here, now.
It took me a minute to get there, but we did it. I do wish that the serve button could be its own separate thing, like E, so you don't accidentally put away your tray and wonder where your beer went, but that's just a personal preference. Running the tavern with just beer for sale was pretty straightforward. The addition of the little mini games to complete tasks such as pouring beer and washing the dishes was a nice touch, but I could see this as being time consuming in the future. Once I got to tavern level 3, I unlocked an outhouse, which I thought was cute until I realized it was another thing I had to clean. But what is nice is that the game will notify you when the outhouse is dirty and needs to be clean. Cleaning the outhouse is another little mini game, which I did appreciate. I did wonder if I could break the game, so to speak. So when this guy was walking over the outhouse, I thought maybe I could block him somehow from getting into the outhouse. I don't know what would happen. I wanted to see. And well, he did come up with his own solution. Yeah, he's just standing there behind the outhouse, and I had to just make eye contact with him while he made all these horrible sounds. I honestly regretted even attempting to break the game here. So I took a little break from the game. I read some reviews online to kind of see what people were saying about it. And I did notice that quite a few people were talking about that you could go around the village and get to know the different characters, to get to know the villagers, do a little side missions. I wanted to see what that was all about. So this time going into the game, I was on an adventure. I saw these guys in front of the castle who just looked like they wanted to fight. And I was low-key kind of excited to fight them. I thought maybe I could use my mop and take them all out. But no, they were just guarding the walkway and wouldn't allow me to go through without an invitation from the king. Will this be future content that isn't released yet? Will this be something I can do once my tavern reaches a certain reputation level or a certain tavern level? I have no idea. Is this some sort of mission or side quest I have to get done? No clue. I saw one guy working over here, so I thought maybe this NPC would be a side character, a new friend, something to interact with, but I was quickly mistaken. He doesn't care who I am, doesn't care to get to know me, and just wants me to deliver some table to someone in a mountain. Okay, cool, whatever. Oh, and the bush he had here was kind of suspicious. Spoiler alert, I never found where the mountain was or who I had to give this table to. I think I ended up putting this table in my tavern. Does that make me a thief? No, I can't be. He gave it to me with no clear direction on where I had to take it, even though he said I had to go to a mountain. But that's not clear because I don't know where the mountain is. He didn't provide me with a map. He didn't provide me with more details. He didn't provide me with anything. And I had the option to put it in my tavern. So the game wouldn't force you to be a thief. Soon after this whole encounter, I stumbled upon Shrek's swamp.
Ooh, look at that. Who'd want to live in a place like that?
This was literally the only time during my whole gameplay where I wanted to have my camera on and record my reaction, but by this point it was already too late. My initial reaction was already missed, but just so you know, I was so audibly excited to see this. I mean, you got Shrek's little house there, you got his little sign. It was fantastic, but I was quickly let down that I couldn't interact with it in any way, and Shrek's house was literally just a log and nothing else. I thought maybe I could peek through it, see what's inside, open a door perhaps, something. I couldn't do any of that. I hope they add something to this area one day. Please add something.
Okay.
Now back to the tavern, the real part of this game. With the last tavern level update to level 3, I did unlock sausages, which I was able to sell to the customers. These just sat beside the beer, so they were easy to access and you were just required to hang them up to have them ready to be served. I liked having another thing I could sell, but I did notice that customers would either get a sausage or a beer. So I'm not really sure if that provided any real value, as they weren't buying both items at the same time, you know? Which is what I was hoping for. I'd hope I'd be making more money because I could be serving them more items at once. I also noticed the animation of the woman eating the sausage was questionable. Like, what the actual... Okay, moving on. I did notice that one of the patches they added to the game was about fairies. I didn't want to look too into it because in my gameplay at this time, I didn't even experience fairies. When I originally saw this patch, I was very confused. Like, why would this game need fairies? But when I finally achieved level 4 of my tavern, I quickly figured out that the fairies were unpaid labor. What more could I even ask for? I mean, you do have to feed them, but that seems relatively inexpensive for the work they are providing you. And it was so nice that I didn't have to do dishes from this point forward. One of the updates they actually added to the game was adding more stickers and different options to customize your tavern sign. Honestly, I just liked the sign I originally created on the first day, so I just stuck with that. I just realized that my sign has been changed. I did not change the picture. This was changed in the update. So let's just look at the pros and cons of this game, and then I will give it my overall rating. Pros, the mini games to complete tasks were top tier. Like, even adding this soup was a task within itself. But by this point in the game, I already had the fairies unlocked. So I no longer had to wash dishes anymore, and I could take the time to make this soup, even though it took a couple extra steps. Another pro was the extra task of keeping the place clean. I actually kind of found that a lot of fun. I like to look at the meter and kind of find around my tavern what was dirty and what I had to clean up, and it just gave you a little bit more of a challenge. Another pro is just the fact that the devs are constantly adding patches to the game. It just really shows that they really care about the game, they want to improve the game, they're listening to people's feedback, and you can also join their Discord as well and give them feedback there. Another pro is that there's already a lot of Steam achievements. There is 41 achievements that you can get on Steam. And if you're a little bit of a trophy hunter like me, I know you'll really appreciate that. Another pro is that when your customers get too drunk, you can literally pick them up and throw them out. I love that so much. And the last pro is just that, honestly, I enjoyed the game. I can see myself playing this game a lot in my spare time. I can see a lot of potential with the different levels and the different things you can unlock for the game. I hope to get more into like what the side quests are and what these villagers are around the area. And maybe one day the king will invite me to his castle. Also, on the screenshots on Steam, you can see that your tavern can get significantly larger in size. So that's exciting to look forward to and aspire to. But let's move over to the cons. One of the biggest cons is when these guys came in. Oh my god, you could just see that they're stinky and gross and disgusting and you don't want them in their tavern, and they're just dropping garbage and trash and ruining your floors, and I couldn't interact with them while they were walking in, which was kind of annoying, and I had to wait until they sat down and made the biggest mess before I could kick them out. By this point, I did have to close my shop just so I could take a little bit of time to clean the damn place. So I really wish there was just a quick way you can get rid of them before they fully come into your tavern. Another con is that they didn't do anything at Shrek Swamp. I hope I either missed something or something will be added there in the future. I liked the little Easter egg of that area, but I just needed a little bit more. Another con was the tavern wasn't actually that busy most of the time. It had its moments where it got a little bit busy, but overall I didn't really find it that challenging to keep up with. And I did expect that when my reputation increased or when I increased the levels of my tavern, it would just naturally get busier, and it didn't. And the last con is they don't have multiplayer. I feel like this game would be a lot of fun with multiplayer, especially to have one person like running the shop serving the beer, another person making the soup, another person going out and doing all the tasks. I don't know, there could be multiple things that people could do. Overall, I would give this game a 7 out of 10. It's still new, it has a lot of potential, it is overall a lot of fun, but give me some Shrek content, give me a multiplayer and a busier tavern, and I would pretty quickly bump this up to a 9 out of 10. Even if this was literally just a co-op game that I can play with one other person, that would be amazing. I know this video is a lot different than what I've been making here on the channel. I've always wanted to try review type of videos, and I found that this was the perfect opportunity to do so. But anyways, thanks guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and take it easy.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way.